Are you a man? Do you know any men? Chances are you said yes to one of those questions, and that's exactly what we were going for. Do you, as a man, have specific necessary survival skills, knowledge of how to be a gentle yet loving giant, or how to make sure your shoes are on fleek? If you're unsure, we're here to show you some things, to teach you some things. We're here to give you some must-knows for men. Number 11. How to kick down a door. Yeah, we know you may never need to use this, but it's great to know how to do it if you ever do end up needing it. Plus, it's something you can impress your friends with if you so feel like ruining a door and showing them what's up. Just imagine your child has been kidnapped, and you've tracked down the son of a gun who took them, but they're behind a locked door. Just use this technique to break in and beat the perp into submission. What if you're stuck on a sinking cruise ship and your only way to make it to the deck to hold on to that last possible second like Jack and Rose is through a locked door? If you know this, you'll be floating on or beside a door in no time, and you won't regret learning this. It's necessary, so know it. Number 10. How to give a great, manly handshake. As a man, you don't want another man's first judgment of you to be one of weakness because you've got a weak handshake. You also don't want to go in too hard and grab too firmly because when or if you do, they're going to assume that you're just, trying too hard. All you have to do is go in for the kill, eyes locked on theirs. Reach out, make sure you get the webbing between your forefinger and thumb pressed against theirs, and keep your grip firm. Not too limp, not too tight, just firm. You'll make a good impression and leave them thinking, wow, now that's a man. Number 9. Changing a tire. If you've gone this long in life without knowing how to change a tire, we don't know how, but we'd be interested in hearing about it in our comments. For most, though, they already know this, but this is for you men who haven't quite figured it out yet. Hopefully, this helps. It's simple as long as you follow a few steps. Find your tools first. That's the most important thing. Then you loosen the bolts on the wheel, jack her up, remove the bolts completely, take the tire off, put the new one on, screw on the bolts, unjack your car, then tighten the bolts up as much as you can, but follow an X pattern. If you need any more help than that, you may be helpless, but hey, at least you learn the order of things here, right? Number 8. Jumping a battery. Okay, so this is yet another vital skill to know if you're going to own a vehicle and drive that vehicle responsibly. We've all ended up with or will end up with a dead battery one way or another, and when that happens, it's important to know just how to bring that dead battery back to life. You can try to wish or work some voodoo magic to get that thing to roar back into proper working order, or you could use jumper cables and the appropriate application of said cables to get it working again. First, you'll want to locate your cables and the battery of the dead car and the working one, and if you can't find them, honestly, you should probably just call someone. But once you've located them, simply put a red clamp on the positive terminal of the dead car, then attach the other red clamp to the positive of the working battery. Got it? Good. Then connect a black clamp to the negative terminal of the working car, and finally attach the other black clamp to something metal on the engine block. The rest you can figure out, but that, my friends, is the proper use of jumper cables. Number 7. Firearm rules. First of all, everybody should know basic firearm safety rules so as to not end up like Dick Cheney when hunting. And second, you should especially know these things if you're a man interested in guns. There are some fundamental rules that we're told from the time we're really young, but a lot of people seem to forget them when they actually get a hold of a loaded weapon. Remember playing with toy guns and your mom would say, "Don't point that at anyone"? Well, they said that for a good reason, as it is something everyone is taught about real guns when they grow up a little. Treat every firearm like it's loaded. This is the safest way to not have an accident. Next, you don't touch the trigger until you're entirely ready to shoot. Don't point the weapon at anything unless you intend to shoot it. This includes people, and it's what your mama taught you. And be sure of your line of fire and pay attention to what's behind it. If there are any hesitations at all, do not shoot. Bam, firearm rules. Number 6. Build a wicked campfire. This is a skill that every man should know, as should women and children too, in case, somebody gets lost alone in the wilderness and has to rough it and survive. Without a fire, depending on where you are, you could be in trouble. Trouble that could be the difference between life and death. Tinder. Gather anything that you think could light on fire, smaller things, of course, and then make a loose pile of it. Then you should grab some little sticks and build a teepee over the tinder, and once that's done, light the tinder from all sides. Don't be afraid to blow lightly into the flames to feed it oxygen to sustain. As the fire grows, add more and more sticks and branches, and once the fire is undoubtedly going to keep going, you can add in bigger logs that get to burn longer and keep it going. Voila! Fire. Number 5. How to hold a tiny baby. Now this is quite important for a bunch of reasons. What if you have your very own tiny baby and don't know how to hold it? If you don't plan on having any of your own, what if your siblings have babies? You can't get away without holding little bugger forever. Same goes for friends. Even if you don't have siblings, we're probably pretty sure you have friends and they'll have kids too. You'll run into a situation where you'll need to know this someday, so listen up. There are many ways to hold a baby and a few ways that you shouldn't, but as long as you have control of the tiny beast and support its little head and neck, you should be able to get by with pretty much anything. In fact, take a look at this picture. There are only a few basic ways to hold a little tiny baby, but they should get you through. Number 4. How to tie awesome knots. Well, so you're the type of guy that only knows how to tie his shoes and maybe a simple knot or two, huh? Well, guess what? There are many different knots out there that are used for lots of different purposes, and it may be to your advantage to learn how to tie more than just a couple of basic ones. What if you're just starting out in rock climbing and you're halfway up a rock face and need a knot, but you suddenly can't remember any? If there's one knot you want to know, it's the figure 8. What if you're a trucker and you only have some rope to help you secure some loads? You're not going to want to use a slip knot, right? No, instead you'll want to use a trucker's hitch. Odds are you don't have any idea what these knots are, and if you find yourself in a tricky situation in the future, it'd be better to know how to make these than not. So learn up, lads. Learn up. Number 3. How to shuffle cards. Now this may not seem like a necessity, but you don't want to be that guy at the poker table who knows how to do absolutely nothing with cards. Not only will it make those around you realize that you don't know what you're doing and take advantage of that, but you'll feel like a failure and nobody wants that. So learn the most basic of shuffles, a riffle shuffle, and you won't feel so bad. Just riffle down half of the deck, grip a packet in each hand, making sure both packs are either face down or up. Create a bend in both stacks by pulling back with both thumbs and riffle your thumbs slowly across the tops of both packs to let cards fall into place, interweaved one by one. There you have it. You can also add in a bridge by holding the top card in place firmly with a thumb, bending the cards the opposite way, and basically letting them cascade down in one even stack. If you're confused, see the picture, but it's easy, dude, and you can do it with very little practice. Number 2. How to shine your own shoes. Now this may sound pretty straightforward and like it's easy to shine your own shoes. Just slap some polish on there, rub it in till it looks okay, and you're done, right? Wrong. Well, you can go about it like that if you want poorly shined, not so hot looking kicks, or you can do it the right way and get to looking fresh in no time. Firstly, remove your laces. You don't want to polish those bad boys up and get it on your hands for weeks every time you go to tie them. Then you must remove the dirt or whatever else is on them with a damp rag. Then put small amounts of polish at a time on a thin, damp cloth and start rubbing. Obviously, you don't want to skip the tiny crevices. It will be noticeable, trust us. And you can combat those with a small brush. Then you have to buff the shoes with a nice brush designed for this purpose, and finally shine the shoes up with a cloth. As we said, sounds easy, but it takes practice. Number 1. How to punch well. When anybody thinks of a man like a real man's man, they automatically call up this image or idea that this guy can fight. Now, it's not that guys are overly violent, but they do have some testosterone coursing through them, which is one of the things that helps make a man in the first place. With that testosterone, sometimes aggression levels are slightly higher than women and children. Who are we kidding? They're much higher. And with that sometimes comes fighting. So you better know how to throw a decent punch. It's all in the body positioning and how you bring your entire body together for the punch, and once you have the basic movements down, trust us, you'll be able to hit a whole lot harder than you were able to before. Take a look at this picture for more information that could be the difference between you getting KO'd in the future or you doing the KOing. All of the things on this list are basically necessary for men to make it in this world, and now that you know how to do these things, you are on your way to being a better you, a better man. Did you learn anything that you didn't know before? Did this list help you understand how some things are done so you can do them yourself and impress? Did we miss anything? Some essentials, perhaps? If this video was for you, why not give it a like? Let us know what other skills are necessary for men in the comments. Oh, and subscribe to our channel for great new videos every day.